Okay, rifle number 3. That's the weird one that has the lower sling mounting points gone. This one on the outside, looks the same as normal with all of them. There appears to be a little bit of rust there. And what I was talking about on the other ones, you can see it here, that little knob there for the sight, this button. It's like a little Bakelite thing on there. And some of them, that's all broke off. There, that first one, that was all tore up. This one's still present. And if you look from the outside, it looks like somebody put a pipe wrench on this or something once. There's little indentations there, and then down on the other flat. So that's about the only weird thing. But outwardly, good shape. Nothing strange. So we'll get this one apart, take a look at it prior to the clean, see what kind of condition that it's in. Okay, gun number 3 we ran into a problem with. And it comes up to the design of this rifle. As you can see, this screw's about ready to get tore off. Somebody's tried to remove it and just about ripped half the head off. So the screw could be on this side bashed over or whatever. I've tried, I put it in a vise and tried. I'm not going to strip it out. So I cannot remove the screw. I cannot get this off. I can't get the rifle action out of the stock. So instead of going berserk and trying to burn this, whatever, until I know I can find a replacement screw, because if you screw this up, this holds the whole upper part of the gun and that together. You don't want to fool with it. So it's best to just leave it alone. And I've taken the bolt out. I've gotten the mag out, and again, it was tough. I had to break loose the action screws, and you can see there's rust under there. So eventually, we want to get up underneath there and clean out the stuff. But if we can't, for the sake of just damaging something where we cannot get replacement parts, that's why I ain't going to screw with it. So what I'm going to do is clean this up, clean up the bolt, oil the screws, and then flush out the bore and get the cosmoline out of it and the bolt. Hold on a second. Yeah, the bolt's got some cosmoline on it. I'll take that apart and clean it. And we're going to leave it at that. Okay, we're not going to worry about getting the stock off right now until I can locate and make sure I can get the proper screw, because something's telling me I'm going to have to drill it out or something to get this out, because this is in bad shape. So it's best not to be in a hurry, not to get excited about it. We can clean it out, go out and shoot it until we find spare parts in that. Just take our time with it and don't create more problems for ourselves than what's not necessary. Alright, so I'm going to clean this and then we'll look at it and I'll put it back together. Maybe I'll just clean it, get it back together, and then we'll discuss condition of the bore and how it went. Alright, rifle number 3 here. We couldn't get the stock off to clean the action out. But instead of freaking out, take our time. We got the gun cleaned up well enough to where we can shoot this rifle. Now, this one here is the unusual example, which is desirable. The cleaning rod is present but bent. But when I cleaned the bore out, even though there's pronounced rifling and everything else, I could tell the bore is worn. How was that? Because when I use the brushes and these style cleaning jags, I made a video on this. You put a cotton patch on there, and a lot of these guns, the correct size jag with a wet cotton patch, you have to give a little thump to get in there. These went through the bore freely. So this bore is more worn than any of the other ones. There's no pitting, and it's kind of hard to judge wear by eye. If you look at one gun that is real sharp, and then look at this, you say, oh yeah, I could see where this is not as pronounced, not as sharp, not. It's difficult when you're just like looking to judge wear by eye, okay? Unless it's bad, then you can obviously see that, you know, there's hardly any rifling, or it doesn't have sharp edges, it's just barely in there. I mean, when it's real bad, almost worn out, you can see it by eye, okay? But that's how I know that this particular rifle probably has a worn bore. Now, in a way, I would make that my judgment on this, but the gun is still in good shape. This is the one that's chewed up. I don't know to the extent of it because I couldn't get the stock off, and until I get a screw or figure out a way to do that, I'm not going to be able to look at it. So we got another one that we can say falls into the good category, or good plus, okay, because it is still a neat looking gun, and not terrible, not banged up bad. But here's the rub. We're not going to know for sure until we go out and shoot them. I just did a bunch of videos on that gun I got from Royal Tiger, that M39, and I mean, I inspected it, checked it, it's pitted, it's worn, and still I can hit things at 200 yards with it. It's, I don't know. I'm at a loss. So I guess the only way you will know is if you go out and shoot it. So that's number 3.